She-Hulk episode 5, a brand new Black Adam trailer, and a first look at live-action MODOK. We're talking all this and more on this week's show. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm Anthony.
And welcome to That Superhero Thing.
Let's do it.
I was actually quite worried that we wouldn't have anything to talk about news-wise because of all the D23 news from
Yeah,
last
I was
week.
thinking about that.
There's quite a lot of news, but I can't remember what any of it is. This is going to be a nice surprise for me, as well as a nice surprise for you. But, so, on this week's show, we're going to give you a rundown of all the week's biggest comic book movie news. We're going to talk about the Black Adam trailer. We're going to give you a review of this week's episode of She-Hulk, and then we're going to listen to all your thoughts and theories at the end of the show in Podfans Assemble. We have got timestamps in the description, as always, so if you want to skip ahead to the news, or you want to skip ahead to the She-Hulk review, or you want to skip ahead to Podfans Assemble, I can't remember what's in the show, genuinely, then check out the timestamps. Don't forget as well, if you enjoy the show, please make sure to follow us on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a rating or review. The more subs and reviews we get, the higher we rank in the podcast charts, and the more people will get to find our show. Before we get into the Black Adam trailer, or the comic book movie news, we've got some show news. So there's a few things to tell you. So firstly, this is all coming in October, but we're having a bit of a rebrand. We're not going to change the name of the podcast.
No.
Should we? No.
No.
Let's not. That's too much hassle. We've got new logos. We've got new branding, all that sort of stuff. So that's exciting. We've been working on that for a little while. Probably one of the biggest bits of news, though, is, as we tell you every week, we love chatting to our patrons on Discord. So we are going to open up the Discord to everybody. So as of October, we will confirm a date. Discord will be open to all listeners. There'll still be a patron-only section. Yeah. So you won't be able to access the whole thing. But yeah, you'll be able to go on there. You won't have all the hate of Twitter. And you can just go on there and have a chat. And have a chat with us about all the latest comic book movie news, basically. Last little bit of news as well is that as an extra place where you can listen to the show, at the same time when we do the relaunch, we will also be available on YouTube. You won't see our lovely faces because we're shy, but you'll be able to hear us and you'll be able to listen to us on YouTube.
I'm still too fat.
So it's just,
let's be honest, that's what it is for me.
It's just me too. There's just another
COVID
place.
fucked me over, and I am fat, and I do not look good. I look like I've got a pea head, and need to sort it out before I'm happy to be seen on TV. On TV? On
kind of TV. Yeah. I
on,
don't feel like
on Tinterweb.
I feel like I've got to argue with that fact, Anthony, but I want to move on at the same time. Moving on then. So as I said, before we get to the news, we will talk about the Black Adam trailer. We were going to do this last week, but it still hasn't released when we recorded the episode. So we've watched it. Anthony's just rewatched it again because he thought he hadn't seen it, but it turns out he has seen it. But it's all right because he's seen it again. I'm surprised
even
now.
myself.
I was surprised as well. I'll be dead honest. But before we sort of break it down to a degree, what are you thinking? More excited? Less excited? I mean, you couldn't really be much less excited because we weren't really bothered, but more excited? Or the same?
I'm more excited than I was before.
I'm a little bit more excited about it as well.
I'm just fed up with seeing it now. I just want to, what I mean is I want to see it.
You want to see the actual film now?
Like,
just get it over
it's been put off for so long.
I know, yeah.
I feel
it's
like
everything.
I feel like it's just teasing.
I know.
Like when someone says do 20
DC-wise.
press-ups and then they say 19 about 5 times before they get to the 20. Like, I feel like we're on 19 for about the 8th time.
It's going to get worse as well because everything DC is going to put back. Do you know what the first thing I noticed about the trailer is they've got rid of that real weird orangey hue from the trailer. It's like it all looked orange on the clips that we've had and the teaser trailer.
Okay.
Sepia toned. That's a big word. It's not a big word, it's a little word, but you know what I mean. It's a complicated word for me. But yeah, it had this weird look.
I can't say I
the last
particularly
trailer,
noticed.
didn't you?
No.
Oh, I did. It was the first thing that stood out. I'm still not buying The Rock. I mean, he wasn't really in the trailer much. It felt like it was more the other characters this time, and I don't think that was a bad thing. Maybe that's why I'm more excited.
I don't know.
What do you think of The Rock as a superhero? Are you like super excited or?
I love The Rock.
I love The Rock.
Genuinely. In the last few years, everything he's been in, I've just thoroughly enjoyed.
I have, but I'm just not buying him in this.
But this is also something he's really wanted to do for a long time.
I know.
I can't see him not doing it justice.
No, I can't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But my concern with The Rock is I like him in films, but they're always big, stupid action films. And I know this is a big, stupid superhero action film. I get that. It's not like serious. You know, it's not going to win an Oscar, clearly. But I think he's trying to play a serious character and he wants it to be seen as serious, and I'm not sure they're going to pull it off. You want him in like a big stupid thing like Fast and the Furious or that skyscraper movie. Do you know what I mean? Big dumb popcorn flick.
But then Skyscraper, he wasn't trying to be funny or anything like that.
I know.
That was quite a serious, and he was good in that.
Okay. I don't know.
It wasn't a great film, but he was good. He was
maybe
good.
it's because he's trying to play like a bit, not a bad guy, but a bit of an anti-hero, and he's
maybe.
normally like always the hero, like
yeah.
doesn't do any wrong, super clean cut.
Yeah.
Maybe not super clean cut, but like always out to do the right thing, and maybe he's not, and he's not here, so maybe that's what's throwing me off. There was lots of new info. We got Amanda Waller, so Viola Davis popped up because we didn't even know she was in it. I mean, I didn't know she was in it either.
I didn't.
So that's good. Again, it sort of connects it
because a link.
It does, because other than that, there's no like link. We've said this before, like when is it even set? And I know they said it's set present day, but there's like flying hover bikes and stuff like that. So clearly it's not. So the story for the movie from this seems to be that Black Adam's been locked up for 5,000 years. He's escaped.
All I could think of was Aladdin at that point. 10,000 years, it'll give you such a crick in the neck.
If they don't do that in the movie, then they're missing a trick. So he's escaped his maximum security prison after 10,000 years, and apparently they're getting the X-Men to stop him, because that would definitely look like the X-Jet coming out of Xavier Mansion.
As soon as I said that, I was like, oh, school for gifted children.
It did just like a little bit like that. It's not really the X-Men, it is the Justice Society. So they look all right, to be fair, and they were the main
different name.
Yeah, they were the main part of this trailer. So we got Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. Love the look of him. Yeah. The best bit was when he gets the mace and he like swings the mace around and it turns into an axe when he's fighting that demon dude.
Yeah.
That was really good. We get Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, aka Blue Deadpool, because that's what he looks like. We get Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone. We see her for like a brief second, a little bit in it, spinning around like a cyclone basically, because clues in the name.
Why is the smoke green?
I don't know.
It's like she's in a fart.
That's very immature, Anthony, but it made me go. I tried to not laugh. I tried to remain professional. Didn't work. And then finally, we've got Pierce Brosnan playing Pierce Brosnan, because he doesn't put the mask on at any point in the trailer for more than half a second. Seriously.
Listen,
so, what?
Pierce Brosnan is life.
He's a legend.
He makes me laugh so much.
I know, but he's playing Doctor Strange with a helmet on, basically. But the character Dr. Fate, he's got a helmet on all the time and you can't see his face.
Okay.
And it's not like 2002 Spider-Man.
I was going to say maybe it was in Pierce Brosnan's contract.
It will have been in Pierce Brosnan's
I want my
contract.
face to be seen.
Hopefully, they're just putting all the bits with his face in it in the trailer to let us know if you couldn't tell that Pierce Brosnan's in this. But yeah, I hope they don't do that in the movie. I hope they show more of him just in the mask all the time. But he looks very much like... And I know he's not ripped off Doctor Strange because he's a character from the comics, but it's giving me proper Doctor Strange vibes, basically. But in general, though, as I said, I'm more excited. I'm kind of keen to see it now. October 21st?
I think so.
I think so as well. That's what the trailer said a minute ago anyway. So, October 21st, and we will be covering it on the show.
Yeah, we will.
Might be a bad movie review, but we'll be covering it on the show. Proper news then. So, we got our first look at MCU's MODOK. So, this came via a promo art from like a t-shirt. What did you think?
Well, it's covered up, so...
What, in like yellow stuff?
Yeah.
I know. I think
we didn't really get a look at him, to be honest.
No, I know. And
it's MODOK in a suit.
That's how I see it as well.
Yeah.
But when it was first seen in the trailer at SDCC, everyone was saying they've turned him into a robot. And it's like, but that's not how I see that. He's in a suit and there's a mask, so he's going to take the mask off at some point, and he's going to have a human giant head. Is that not where it's going?
It makes me think of the thing. I can't remember what its name was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Kang.
Was that his name?
Krang. No, not Kang. Krang. Kong. King Kong Kang. I don't know.
The thing in
like
the jar.
Jeff or something.
And he's in a robot suit.
Yes, Krang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of.
Yeah, a little bit. It's gonna be. You're gonna see his face.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to cover it up because we still don't even know who's playing MODOK.
No.
The rumor is that it's Corey Stoll, who played Yellow Jacket in the first Ant-Man. Yeah. So he's gonna have somehow ended up in the quantum realm and turned into this like monster dude. I think that's more likely because that's why they're keeping him all covered up. Or the other rumor was that it was, what's his name, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Can't see that happening. I think we'd know by now.
Yeah.
Don't you? Jim Carrey had signed on.
I think we'd know it by now. not only because of that, but also because Jim Carrey said he's gone into retirement now. He's not doing any more films.
Is that 100% happening? Yeah.
Well,
he's definitely retired.
I haven't seen him since.
What about Sonic 3?
Well, do you know?
We need him back for Sonic 3. Sonic 3 was like the best superhero movie of
He
this
basically said
year.
he's retiring, but if something intrigues him enough, he'll come back.
Okay. MODOK is pretty intriguing. Get lifted around with hydrobolics and all that sort of stuff.
I'm such a tit.
The question I've got, right,
That was quick.
and I only just thought about this though. How is MODOK going to fit into this movie? Because Kang's the bad guy. So where's MODOK going to be? Is he going to be like the bad guy at the start of the film who Ant-Man beats in like 2 minutes and he's just like a bit of a stupid throwaway baddie? Or are we going to get like a proper story with him? Is he going to be teaming up with Kang?
Well, I think that they're unsure about how MODOK's going to go down. So I think it would make sense for him to be a throwaway right now, because he could always come back and be like, I'll get you next time.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
And do a thing. And if people like it, then they'll bring him back. And if they don't like it, he won't get them next time.
Yeah. Well, it's like, what's his face? Samuel Stearns in Incredible Hulk. They've brought him back after, 15 years to be the bad guy in Captain America 4. So it can be done, yeah. I'm not buying that he's going to be a big part of it. I think it'll be throwaway first 10 minutes. Sticking with Marvel then.
Kang will just step on him.
Yes, maybe. Sticking with Marvel then, we've got some Avengers movie news. We've got 2 bits of Avengers movie news for 2 different Avengers movies. So, bit number 1, the Weekly Planet podcast reckon that they've been told that Black Panther director Ryan Coogler is currently one of Marvel's top choices to direct Secret Wars.
Okay.
I'd be good with that, because Black Panther.
What else has he directed?
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Oh, he will be directing Wakanda Forever anyway, and Creed.
Okay.
But Black Panther was pretty
yeah.
big and epic. Do you know what I mean? And I think Wakanda Forever is going to be like on a whole different level.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really, really good choice. And so he'd be joining Daniel Destin Cretton because he's doing Kang Dynasty. I'd be completely happy with that. Talking of the Kang Dynasty, that's the other bit of news. So Marvel have found a writer for it. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed that Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania writer Jeff Loveness has signed on to pen the script, which makes complete sense because it's about Kang. And he's writing Quantumania, which is Kang.
I was going to say, at the moment, that's the only one that's slated Kang being in it.
Exactly, yeah. So that makes complete sense for him to go from that to that.
I'm still sticking with my story.
I'm still sticking with your story as well. Do you know what I think will make that even more likely? That's literally the next thing we've got written down.
What?
And it's made me more excited because I've never heard of Jeff Loveness before
Yeah.
until obviously I found out he was doing Ant-Man. He is one of the main writers for Rick and Morty. So he knows exactly what he's doing with multiverses and alternate reality versions of the same character. Okay. So he's going to absolutely nail this. I'm even more excited for Quantumania now. The comedy will be there.
I hope he does a little cameo moment to Pickle Rick.
Yeah, I could see it.
Somewhere in there.
I could see it. He needs to be in it somewhere. But yeah, that's going to be really good. Moving on to Star Wars news. So there's a new series for Disney Plus coming out called Star Wars ACOLYTE, and it's found its lead, basically. So the series is set in the final days of the High Republic era. I don't know what that means either, don't worry. It's basically 100 years before The Phantom Menace. So Deadline is reporting that Squid Game's Lee Jung-jae is going to be leading the cast. So Song Jun from Squid Game.
I still haven't finished it.
You've never seen... Have you watched it? Have you started it?
I've watched most of it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I've just not watched the end.
Well, the main guy from that.
The
main guy from Squid Game, number 4, 5, 6, he's going to be one of the lead actors in this. Which is good because he was really decent. It's been confirmed as well. So we already know 2 of the other actors. So 2 of the other leads are Jodie Turner-Smith, who was in... Is it The Other Boleyn Girl on BBC?
Okay.
And Amandla Stenberg, who apparently was in one of the Hunger Games movies. The little girl Rue from the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah.
So she's all grown up now. So she's going to be in it. And it's just been confirmed that Manny Jacinto has also been cast as one of the leads, who is Jason from The Good Place. So he's going to be in it. He's going to be in it as well. So it's really good casting. This
him.
It's such good casting.
He's so good.
None of them I would put in a Star Wars series.
No.
So I'm really intrigued to see where it's going to go. So apparently it's going to be heavily inspired by the comics and the novels, as we said. It's going to be a mystery thriller that shows the rise of the dark side. And it's going to be directed, written, and the showrunner will be Leslie Headland, who is the creator of Russian Doll for Netflix.
Okay.
I've not seen that yet.
I thoroughly enjoyed Russian
heard
Doll.
Really, really
I
good
love
things.
Natasha though. She's,
she's
so
boss.
good.
Yeah, she's brilliant. But again,
Yeah.
look who's creating it and look who's starring in this.
Yeah.
This should be really good, and it's going to a place in Star Wars that we've never seen on film or TV before.
Yeah.
So it should be really, really good.
Can we have Natasha as a villain in something?
Yeah, like a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be alright with that. Natasha Lyonne as a Sith Lord.
She'd be fucking incredible.
I'd be happy with that. But like really, like something from a parody where she's like dead cocky and stupid and stuff like that at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Cigarettes out on stormtroopers and stuff.
Yes. Yes. Do that. That would be absolutely genius. Moving on to some DC news then. So this is a weird one, but I kind of like it, but I don't think it's timed right. I've just given away my opinion. So Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
You know, the new DC film.
Has that not been cancelled?
That's not been cancelled.
Okay, just thought I'd ask the question.
So we know it's gone from HBO Max to a theatre release.
Yeah.
So Susan Sarandon, who's playing the villain, Victoria Cord, I think she's going to be, she was on the Jimmy Fallon show this week.
Yeah.
And she said that the film is all going to be in Spanish with English subtitles. She said, what's fabulous about it is it's the first Latinx hero that his own movie. Even better because his family is Mexican and all of the actors were Mexican or Mexican-American. And it's in Spanish, so it's subtitled. I'm, of course, the bad guy. She went on to talk about that as well. But I love this idea.
Okay.
I really like this idea. I think if you're going to go with that character, like Latinx, Spanish, Mexican, and they're all going to... That would be their normal language anyway. Yeah. I'm completely on board with this idea. I think it's really, really clever. I think it's too early in DC. Not early because it's been going for ages, but the position that DC movies are in at the moment, I don't think it's the best time to do it. Because I think you need to be... And I'm not saying it can't be a good movie because of that. Yeah. I think a lot of the general public, general audience are not going to appreciate it. Yes. Yeah. I think if Marvel did the exact same thing now, you'd 100% get away with it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't think DC have got enough goodwill and good faith from people to pull this off at the moment, which I think is a shame, really, because I think this sounds like a really, really good idea.
It does sound like a really good idea. Right. Like I just said to you before, I haven't finished watching the Squid Games.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
There are 2 reasons I haven't gone back to it.
Okay.
I'm so tired all the time. They're trying to read subtitles while understanding what's going on and trying to catch what's going on the screen rather than just reading the bottom.
Yeah.
Is a thing. Now I know that there's a dubbed version, but
yeah.
So you can watch it English dubbed. No, I'm watching the Korean version with the subtitles because apparently the translation is not as powerful.
Right. Okay.
So that's why they've got it as subtitles instead, because it comes across better.
I think it came up on my Netflix automatically just as dubbed.
Did it?
Yeah. I was going to say, though, that proves me wrong, but no, it didn't. I remember it was dubbed, the version I watched. And probably 90% of people did.
But for me, like, I'd need to know that I've got full focus ready, and that...
Do you not think
it's only about 30% of my time at the moment.
Do you not think you do when you're in the cinema, though?
I don't know.
If you go to the cinema, you're in the mood.
I fell asleep watching Batman v Superman.
Yeah, but that's just because that was
Twice.
Batman v Superman, wasn't it? No, I just don't think... As I said, I think if and this isn't anything to say Marvel are better than DC.
Yeah.
If Marvel did this, they've got enough of a build-up and enough of a fan following that people will just go and watch it.
Because at this point, you're invested.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're invested in the universe, not just the film. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Whereas with DC... Where are we? Who's doing what? What world are we in? Like,
exactly. It's nothing to do.
Nothing is clear cut, and you can't keep up with it. So people will just go, "Can I be asked?"
Exactly.
And that's going to be the response.
Yeah. And
it's something that I would watch it.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. If it's subtitled, I've got to be in the mood to read as well as watch.
Yeah. But again, I think if you go in the cinema, you will. I just don't think some people will go to the cinema.
Well, yeah, because you kind of put yourself up for it to...
I know.
If you know that's what's coming, but...
I know. And I think, again, I think it's a shame because I think it's an excellent idea. Really, genuinely do. Some, not comic book movie news, but I thought of putting on this because it surprised me a little bit. Avatar 2 news. I've put Avatar 2 news in here. I know you should see that in his face.
Hon?
He looks pure shock. So, Avatar 1 has had a re-release this week, or at least it has in the UK. And at the end, there is 20-30 minutes of Avatar 2. After the credits, basically the post credits, they put a post credits on, which is like the first 20 minutes of Avatar 2.
What?
Yeah, just to get people hyped up for it.
Oh.
The reactions are mega. Like,
Oh, really?
Really, really good, yeah. So some of the reactions off Twitter, Tom Percival from BBC said, just seen 20 minutes or so of Avatar The Way of the Water, and all I can say is I want to go back to Pandora now. Alison Boshoff from the Daily Mail said, a truly stunning 30 minutes of footage seen today. Superlative, prepare to fall a bit more in love with 3D again. And then James Dyer from Empire, the best one, went to an Avatar The Way of the Water presentation this morning, and fucking hell, it looks good. The visuals are astounding, but the emotional authenticity that Cameron does so well really comes across in the character drama. I'm quite excited to see this now, because it must be like
You've done
something,
a 180.
It must be something special. Do you know what the thing that's got me most though? I can't remember who said it. I've seen a couple of people. So he's filmed this thing, or he's putting it out anyway, in higher frame rate. So normally when you get the pictures, it's 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
So TVs obviously can do a lot higher than that now.
Yeah.
So he's putting this out at 48 frames per second. So it's gonna look like a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Now they tried that with the first Hobbit. Do you remember when the first Hobbit came to the cinema and it looked really, really weird on the screen because everything was moving super fast, and it looked like when you were watching Coronation Street, it looked like like you're watching a soap opera.
Oh, yeah.
They've said that James Cameron's nailed it. He's figured it out. People have tried this technology before, and he's figured out how to make it actually look good. So I'm really intrigued to see that as well. And we said I was reluctantly going to cover this on the show, but now I'm quite excited to cover it on the show because it's coming. So it's coming out December 16th.
Yeah,
I think. So again, we will be covering that on the show. I've got 2 little bits of breaking news that have literally just before we started recording been announced. Not necessarily good news though. So first one. Marvel Studios has moved its Untitled project that was scheduled for February 16th, 2024, all the way back to September 6th, 2024. So they've moved it back 7 months. We don't know what it is, but they've had to move a project. It is a big jump, isn't it? People are saying it might be Deadpool. I think that's the date that they thought would be the Deadpool movie.
Right, okay.
So I don't know why that would have been moved back. And then there was also a Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie that had been announced and scheduled. It's been completely removed from the release schedule, which makes me sad because it's gonna be a whole movie about X-wing fighter pilots, the Rogue Squadron. Do you know what I mean? It's like that would have been a good film. So hopefully it's gonna get put back in. But yeah, that made me a little bit sad, Anthony. I was looking forward to that.
I didn't know it was happening.
You didn't know it was happening, so we're not bothered.
It's not changed my life. I'm not
let's
gonna lie.
act sad. I think that's it for news then. So should we talk about She-Hulk?
You mean the advert?
What do you mean?
Well, it was only about 2.5 fucking minutes long.
It wasn't very long, was it? So let's do She-Hulk, episode 6. Mean, green, and straight poured into these jeans. That is the title of the episode. Didn't think I'd ever say that on the podcast. Before we talk about it, spoilers. We will be doing spoilers straight away. Before we break it down, what did you think of the episode? Apart from the fact that it was like 8 minutes long, what did you think of the episode?
I actually quite enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, me too.
I enjoyed it. There just wasn't a lot of it.
No, I agree. It didn't feel as short as the other short episode, though.
And then I did an eek at the end.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
So, first of all,
yeah,
I was really hoping we were going to get a live-action Edna mode.
So was I. I was like, who is this? Who is this going to be? I really thought they were going to make somebody look like Edna Mode, genuinely. And I was a little bit as much. So it was a
come with me.
Guy called Luke. It ended up being, who was brilliant, to be fair.
Yeah,
he was so good.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Edna Mode.
No,
unfortunately. But yeah, I liked him. He was a good character. We also got, so we're on to characters. So we also got a new character, Mallory Black, played by Renee Elise Goldsberry. I loved her, the other lawyer.
Yes,
she was really good.
She's
been in something then.
Was in Hamilton.
Okay, you don't sound sure.
I'm now not.
Should we do
a quick Google?
The traditional
I'm pretty certain.
Check.
Either I've definitely seen her in something else. I want to say that it's Hamilton, but I'm now.
Renee Elise Goldsberry. She was in Hamilton.
Yes,
she was in Hamilton. She played
one of the sisters, Angelica.
I don't know.
Angelica
Schuyler?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
One of
Angelica.
the Skylar sisters.
Well done, Anthony. She was good in this.
She was.
She was really
brilliant.
good. I enjoyed her.
Very, very good.
Very like badass.
She's got a very beautiful voice as well. She's a good singer.
Oh, okay. I just thought you meant like talking voice. I was like, how did you?
I saw the reaction. I was like singer.
I was sitting there thinking I can't even remember what her voice sounded like, but okay, yeah,
she's a very good singer.
Fair play. Maybe she'll belt out a tune at some point in this. It wouldn't
in fact,
surprise me.
She may have won a Tony.
I'm not googling that. That's
that's
too
okay.
complicated for me to Google.
That's okay. But she's
great.
Brilliant. Yeah,
she was a really good character. So,
and I liked her relationship with Jen through the episode.
I didn't get I did, but at the end I didn't really get where it was going.
No, okay, so I do.
Do you know what I meant? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I get it.
Because we got 1/4 wall break, but like very, very brief, which was basically just Jen. Like, did we get 2?
We got 2.
Have I forgot?
There was
one?
the yes.
Yeah, there was the
one.
yes when she said she wants
and
to go for a
there
drink.
was one after it as well.
Oh, okay, sound.
There was one more.
Was it just another like glance at the camera?
It was a glance and maybe a word or two. I can't remember what it was, but I remember it happened a second time because I look out for them now.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
are we going for the relationship as just like pure admiration from Jen to her, like looking up to her?
So I think first of all, it's I think there is an element of the female empowerment thing.
Yeah.
And so she's doing very well within the company and is the only woman that seems to be higher up.
Yeah.
So I think her admiration is on that level.
Okay.
But I also like the reverse. So I love the fact that she's just like, she's only here because she can Hulk out.
Yeah.
And then that character development, like their relationship arc changes out throughout the episode because she starts to realise that she's actually... although she's a ditz and a bit of a divvy is the best way to probably say it.
Yeah.
She's also genuine, and I think she kind of succumbs to that and is like, okay, do you know what?
Yeah. So when they had all the guys coming in,
She-Hulk dickhead.
Yeah.
And I think the self-humiliation and deprecation and stuff like that. Yeah. She goes, do you know what? She's in it to win it, kind of thing. And
the fact, and Jen was so excited and happy because she sort of broke down that wall. Because at the very first meeting, it was like,
I'm so glad that we're friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Because I didn't. Now that I'm thinking back of it, because the first meeting, it was like, we are not having any meetings or discussions as anything other than I'm your lawyer and you're my client.
Yeah.
And by the end, it's like, let's go for a drink together, all that sort of stuff. So no, I get that. I get that now. I get where that was going. But it was quite on that basis though. It was quite a deep episode because I did feel sorry for Jen. Like really, really sorry for her in that court.
When he got asked about like his attraction to her as Jen, and he's like, nah.
But he handled it really, really... He can't lie because he's in court.
And he was polite about it.
He was, yeah.
But I mean...
he was blunt,
I've had
polite.
That conversation about me before. And I know how that feels.
No, I know, but he had...
And that was to a courtroom full of people.
Yeah, exactly, but he had to do it legit.
I felt myself like combust inside while I was watching
really
it.
Sorry
it was a
it.
level of cringe, not to the episode, but... Like, because I feel the empathy to her.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
It's a weird.
Nice. It's a weird. I mean, this whole episode was not much happened other than character building, but it was a character building episode. Yeah. I think it's maybe planted a few seeds for where it's going. Well, clearly at the end, but I think there's another few as well. But it was building. It was building Nikki and Pug's characters, who we'll talk about in a bit because their little story was amazing. But it was mainly building Jen's character, and it's weird because we've gone from her not wanting to be She-Hulk to accepting She-Hulk, and now now that she's accepted She-Hulk and even fighting for the name back from She-Hulk, where does Jen live? Like where does the identity of Jen Walters
I think that's
fit?
Always been Jen's problem. I don't think that's a new question.
Don't you?
No,
that's deep, that, aren't they?
Go on. So from what we've again, she's been that girl that has no luck with anything.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like she's competing against She-Hulk.
Yeah. But she is She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I know, you could see that look in her face, you could see it.
Yeah. And that's why she was fighting it so hard, because She-Hulk was better physically and all of that in every other way, and even down to being attractive to men. And even I can't remember the other lawyer's name. She said,
Mallory.
if they're the best that you can get, even when you're doing She-Hulk, you're better off without. You deserve more.
Yeah.
And I think that little bit where she's saying you deserve more to Jen as Jen and not as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
No, I get
more
that.
because it is about Jen's identity, and it's about the fact that she's left behind constantly, and even with this She-Hulk thing now, she's still left behind in that whole world.
So where do you think, we're getting proper deep with this, where do you think, it's a superhero movie show, where do you think because there are two separate identities for the same person here,
and
where's it going to end?
But this, I must admit, like, this also became more of a thing for me when they were talking about the superhero outfit for her.
Yes.
Because she talked about my two bodies.
Yeah.
So it kind of like separates them in a way as well.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing that I did get analytical in this one. I mean, I only watched it about 2 hours ago, so just sat on my sofa. But like this, I thought this was quite a powerful episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, and I mean, just down to Jen's journey.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that all of her cards have pretty much been laid out on the table there through court, but kind of everything there. And she's quite vulnerable, but she's still trying to be the, oh, ditzy me kind of response to it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So she doesn't want people feeling sorry for her, but at the same time, she does feel really sorry for herself.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It
does make me wonder how she's gonna. Because I feel like by the end of this series, she's gonna have not come to terms, but she's gonna be in a position where she's got the balance right. That's got to be the arc for this series. I'm sure there'll be a supervillain as well, but that's got to be the arc for Jen. She's got a perfect balance between the two. Now, where that's going to be, I don't know, and I kind of want to know what you think, but my impression I get from the comics, from everything I've ever seen of She-Hulk, I didn't even know she could turn back into Jen Walters in the comics. My understanding is that she's She-Hulk and she's just always She-Hulk, either because she can't go back to Jen or by choice, but she's fully embraced the persona of She-Hulk, and Jen Walters is kind of gone, if you get what I mean, the human form, again, either by choice or she can't do it. So the fact that they've gone down this route for the comics, either way is a different route to go down. Yeah. And it's a clever way that they're doing it. But where do you think it's going to end? Do you think it's going to end with her completely scrapping Jen? Because I can't see that.
No. I think that she's going to get stuck either one way or the other for a while. And it's going to make her realise that having the other half makes her who she is.
Yeah.
So whether she gets stuck as Jen for a while after having all this power, or whether she gets stuck as She-Hulk for a while, like in the, if that's how kind of some of the comics have gone, it'll make her appreciate the other half more. Yeah. And then it'll be kind of a good story when she finally realizes that she is what.
No, I know
she's
what you mean.
more than she thinks she is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she'll end up as maybe a defense mechanism, trying to sort of stick more with the She-Hulk look from this episode. Because I feel like we've had I don't want to be She-Hulk, I want to be Jen already in the first 4 episodes. And with the fact
I think it might go the other way of I don't want to be Jen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But then that's where I think she'd get stuck and can't turn back to Jen for whatever reason.
But then,
and then she's going to realise how big a part of her life Jen is.
Jen is, I think with the fact that she seems to be like, well, I'm more popular and people seem to like me more as Jen, that will, whether she wants to admit it or not. Yeah. But also, even from the end of the episode, when she's not clearly liked She-Hulk and not like the look of it and like the fact that she's wearing these like big frumpy suits, but she's now gone to this Luke guy and he's got a superhero suit for her.
I want to know what this the special suit is. Do you reckon it is the superhero suit?
Yeah, I think it's just going to look like. I think we've seen it in promo art, to be honest.
Okay.
But even not just that, also like nice suits for her to wear normally. Do you get what I mean? And I think she's really going to appreciate it. And I do think she might, from what you're saying, let Jen go to a degree. Yeah. But I think the end from what you're saying, I think it'll end up as she realizes that she needs both, and the both is just important. As each other. It's quite, if you told me at the start of this that this was going to be the way it was going to go, I wouldn't have been excited about it. Yeah. And even writing the notes for this, I wasn't particularly excited about it. Talking it out, I'm kind of really looking forward to see where she goes as a character. Because my first reaction to this episode was, within seconds and watching it, I was like, it's funny and stuff, but nothing's really happened, and it was a bit of a filler episode, and it just felt like the purpose was to get to the Matt Murdock reveal at the end.
Yeah.
But now it's a really deep episode, and there's a lot to it, and I enjoyed it. And I actually think because of that, in some ways, it was one of the best episodes of the series, to be perfectly honest. It's really, really deep. Going off the deep bit then, Titania. Jameela Jamil. We finally got Jameela Jamil in an episode.
She actually said lines in this one.
She did. She had words to say other than who the hell are you? But talking about it, right, her accent and everything like that, and the mannerisms. It was so good.
Amazing.
She just wasn't Jameela Jamil.
No, not at all.
At all. When you look at how different this character is from the character she plays in The Good Place.
Yeah, totally.
And even from what she's like in real life.
Yeah.
She's absolutely nailed this.
Brilliant.
The most bonkers thing for me, and we'll talk more about the character, but the most bonkers thing to me is she's clearly such a good actress to be able to pull off these completely different characters. Us being from the UK, would you even thought 15 years ago when she was hosting T4 on a Sunday morning,
introducing us to the Hollyoaks Omnibus?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you have thought she must be an amazing actress and she's going to end up like a Hollywood star? She's absolutely nailed this.
Yeah.
And I've not ever disliked Jameela Jamil, but she's always just been there to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm find myself really rooting for her.
Yeah.
Not proud of her because I know her, but it's like I look at her from T4 and I'm like, I'm so impressed with what you've done and the fact that you've got to this point. And I want her to be not just a throwaway villain.
She was essentially a low-level TV presenter, and she's in a project for one of the biggest global phenomenons within TV and film.
But for anybody who doesn't know, for any of our US listeners, when you say TV presenter, she wasn't really a TV presenter.
No.
She was just like, I'm Jameela Jamil, next is Hollyoaks. And then it'd go to the TV show and then she'd be on the screen for another 30 seconds and she'd tell you what the next thing was. It was like a DJ on a radio station, but on TV.
T4 was such a weird thing, wasn't it?
It was a weird thing, but that was all it ever was. That was her, and now she's doing this, and she's really, really good at it.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly dead happy for her. She's absolutely nailing it. But talking about the character then, again, I love the character.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't even hate her at any point.
When the lawyer stood up to speak for her.
And she stood up.
And then she stood up and he's like, sit down. She was so funny.
She's that good. And when Jem walked in, she's like, oh, hey, Shrek.
That had me howling. What's really funny is Twitter have exploded with Shrek memes about She-Hulk since it came out weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
So this whole thing where we said they've been anticipating stuff, or are they just watching and adding these little bits?
I think that was easy enough to anticipate, but I love it.
Yeah.
The fact that they've nailed it
But the fact that she
again.
said it, and I was just like, that's hilarious, brilliant.
The whole thing. I liked it when Jen went to meet her, and she's going through, and she's like, she's literally selling snake oil, and it's like She-Hulk oil, She-Hulk juice, She-Hulk this,
cream.
And she's like, they're all the same thing.
Yeah.
And Nikki's like, no, they're not. It was dead good. So talking about go on. The
Avengers.
The Avengers,
and
yeah.
the Avengers.
We've got to talk about Nikki and Pug. Right, Nikki and Pug, all series, have just been there.
Yeah.
And you've known that we're going to get something brilliant from them at some point, and this was the episode where we got something brilliant from them. They're such good characters. Nikki
it was
is
when
amazing.
She went to touch the bell and then it's like, no.
What? Oh, yeah. The whole thing was boss.
It was good.
The Avengers and the Avengers was absolutely brilliant. The best bit was when they went to that place where the dude was selling all the knockoff gear.
Yeah.
And she talks to him in Chinese and he's like, I'm not Chinese. And she's like, I feel so bad. I'm ashamed.
It was so good.
Just how gutted she was with herself. She's such a good character.
She is.
It's even like even when Jen had her meeting with Mallory and she's talking and she just goes, Nikki, and she's like pops in straight away and she's like, I was just kind of like hanging around, I wasn't listening, I was just it's like she's just always there.
Yeah.
But again, I hope we get more of those two.
Yeah.
Because their part of it was brilliant. The little bit like the fact that they're fully done up in Avengers gear was amazing.
And him with his little Thor hammer.
He's got his Thor hammer and his shield, all looking slightly different because they're knockoffs.
Yeah.
And then We'll talk about his shoe collection in a minute. But when they eventually get the meeting and they start dancing in front of the camera, and he's like, I can still see you.
Again, I'm sad it's not Edna Mode.
So stupid. I am. So stupid. But I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Before we talk about like the ending and the we didn't get a post-credit scene, but we got credits, so we've got to talk about the credits. Not that we've had a problem with it, but after last week's episode, I found this really refreshing that we weren't still doing the every man in the series is a prick.
Yeah.
Because none of them were.
No.
I mean, the boss is a bit of a dick still, and I suppose a few of the guys who came up on the in court were as well.
But it didn't feel story. It didn't wasn't feel forced. Yeah.
But just confirm, right? Episode 1, 2, and 3, it didn't feel forced.
Do you know what?
It did in episode 4.
Episode 4 was all 4 of those guys.
Yeah.
And now that I know that this is the payoff, I think if I watched back that episode, I'd be okay with it.
I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because before it did just feel like they were throwing a lot at us
for nothing.
Whereas now I'm going, right, this is why.
This is for Jen's character arc. No. Yeah, I suppose
that makes more sense to me now. So I think if I watched it back, I wouldn't be as
No, I agree.
hung up on it. Do you know what I mean?
But that gets me to something else that I thought, because again, with how short these episodes were, it did literally as soon as I started this episode and I realised it was going to be like 20 minutes of actual content. Yeah, I was thinking, why are we stretching this out over 9 episodes? Yeah, why have we not just made this 6 episodes instead? But again, that would have worked better if episode 4 and 5 were one 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
That would have worked so much better.
Yeah, totally.
Miles better. It would have fit more with the story.
Yeah.
Even the end of the last episode, because the end of the last episode where it was like Titania's trademarked She-Hulk, that was, I suppose, an all right place to end it, but it could have so easily just been the middle of this episode instead, and then it ended with the Daredevil helmet.
Which, brilliant ending.
Yeah, really clever. Fantastic. I wondered where it was going. I did wonder where it was going, and we didn't get much.
I must admit, right, I don't know, it's a dead stupid thing to do.
What?
You know when you start to see, like, the top of a box?
Yeah.
And in real life, if you can see the top of the box and you want to see more, you lift yourself to peek over. I was lifting myself to try and see over. But obviously it's on the fucking telly, so you can't until the telly wants you to.
No. Do you know what the word, right, completely going off, right? Do you know what I do all the time? Not all the time, but I've sat there not long ago with, like, my mum at her house, and she's got like the baby photos out and stuff like that. I don't know why, but you know, like old photos, and I've sat there looking at them with Jill, my wife, and the 2 kids. I try multiple times to pinch to zoom in on the photo. Done it loads of times. Yeah,
have you?
Yeah. I'm so stupid.
Oh, I've not done that.
But it was just from what you just said, like you tried to. No, you just try and lean, stand up to lean into a box, basically to see.
But I'm that person. You know, if somebody's underwater on TV,
I hold your breath. Look like a fish.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wish you could all see.
I don't know that actually hold my breath. It's like, and you know when you cut with scissors.
Pouting?
You know when you cut with scissors. Sometimes I'm like using my mouth like
doing like Pac Man.
Yeah. It's weird.
It is a bit weird, yeah. Should we get off this now?
I mean, I'm broken.
The Daredevil helmet then.
Yeah.
Battle damage by the looks of it. Looks like it needs tidying up. Doesn't look like a new helmet. Looks all scuffed.
I can't say I noticed, if I'm totally honest. I just got really excited.
I've only seen it. I think I've only noticed that from pictures. Something else I missed though. Before you got to the Daredevil helmet.
I was looking at all of the suits because I was trying to work out if we'd seen any of them.
It looks like that looks like Daredevil's suit. So there's a picture again. There's a picture doing the rounds. It's just like a still from the episode. Yeah. But so Daredevil's suit as well. We've got to be getting
at all of the other bits and thinking, ooh. But do you know what would be good if we saw a new hero afterwards wearing something that you see on the rack?
Yeah, I was trying to look at all the stuff that was around, not on the racks, but on the mannequins.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
you know the one that had like the white frills going up and round. I thought, imagine if we saw Madam Hydra with something like that on later.
I thought a bit Starlight from The Boys when I saw that. To be
perfectly honest, it was a little bit.
Yeah.
But like all that kind of stuff, because if we saw something and recognised it later, we know that it can do something, or it can be repellent of something.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it'll be quite cool to be like,
there were loads of little Easter eggs like that. I mean, again, we didn't get a post-credit scene.
No,
but
first episode where we've not
post-credit
had one.
scene. I don't get that though when you've done it for the first 4.
Yeah.
It feels weird not to have one now. If there'd been 2 out of 4 on the previous 4, I'd be like, well, sometimes we just don't get them. But they did 4 in a row, so it just felt weird to not get one. Yeah. They didn't need one, though, really, because we got the Daredevil. We got the Daredevil helmet. But also, the thing that's got most people talking is one of the pictures from the credits. You know, when you get all like the art cards and stuff like that.
Do you know what? I didn't look up at it properly this time.
Didn't you?
For the first time this season.
So, I've got it here for Anthony. You got to look at Pug's shoe collection.
That's amazing.
So you got to look at him with his Iron Man 3 shoes, which is boss.
Amazing.
But also, he's got Nova shoes.
Okay.
Ghost Rider shoes. So that's the first look at Ghost Rider and Nova we've had in the MCU.
Yeah.
There's other ones, like there's Hulk ones and stuff like that. There's the Thing shoes.
Yeah.
Cyclops shoes.
Go back up a sec.
Go on.
And a bit more. Is that something to do with X-Men as well? Is that Wolverine maybe?
Well, that one looks like an X, doesn't it? So there's one with there's like an orange pair with an X on it. This isn't very good for podcast, because me and Anthony are just looking at the picture. But you've got Cyclops shoes.
The Cyclops shoes are cool.
And there's a Spidey one down there as well.
Yeah.
And Deadpool shoes. So that is technically the first ever mention we've ever had of Deadpool, the Thing, and Cyclops in the MCU. And Ghost Rider as well. So again, it kind of feels like, especially the reaction that we're getting from that on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's like the post-credit scene. And they didn't even have to do a post-credit scene. They've just literally put a few pictures of some shoes in there.
Yeah.
And it's got people talking more than anything else in the episode.
I want us to see Pug's house.
Why?
I do want to see if he is like... I mean, because obviously this is kind of pushing to the fact that he's a bit of a Avengers nerd.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see what his whole house looks like.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, imagine if he's like some absolute obsessive.
Yeah.
Like, I'd piss myself.
Well, talking about people who are obsessive, and I forgot about this, right? Somebody else we got in the episode from last episode, obviously we got all the guys she went on the date with, but one more so than the others. So we got the guy who was in Baywatch with The Rock.
Yeah.
The guy who was asking her all the questions last time about, like, are you impervious to vibranium and all that sort of stuff. So he is now snooping around the law offices, and he's a client of Mallory's.
Yeah.
So is it literally just he's there and it just fit the story, or do we think he is snooping on her for something? And that's why he's hanging around the law offices? Because he was asking a lot of questions. Do you think he's going to be linked to the big bad?
Maybe.
Who do we think the big bad... Right, so we know that, or we think that we're going to get a big story arc, or we are getting a big story arc with Jen from a character perspective.
Yeah.
There's got to be a big bad. You can't... Or do we think we're going to get... Do you think maybe we're going to get through the whole series and there isn't going to be a big bad?
Could he be...
Well, there must be, because we got the dude trying to rob
the
blood,
Could he be like
didn't we?
working or a family member of... Who did we say that's going to be in Captain America 4?
Samuel Stearns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still my thought.
Because it's
not
still that they were
Titania.
trying to get her blood.
Who was?
The crew.
Oh, yeah.
The crew
that
that
trying to get
attacked
her
her.
blood. Yeah.
So that puts to me like it's got to be some form of scientist.
Yeah, I know. It's not Titania.
No.
I don't for 1 minute think she's the big bad. I'm not convinced we'll see, or I actually think we will see Titania again because of that shot we've seen of her with Ruffalo doing the filming.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll see her again till then.
Yeah. I think she's just going to be like a little bit of a pain in the ass that comes back now and again for another fight.
Yeah. If she was the big bad, she wouldn't be pulling stupid things like the She-Hulk thing, would she? Clearly.
No.
She'd be biding her time and getting her.
Unless it's a very clever distraction from something else if she is working with somebody.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% buying it though. Unless she is, or maybe she's just trying to break her down. From a character perspective. I don't know. If I had to put money down now, I'm still going Samuel Stearns.
Oh yeah.
I'm going that this guy is working for Samuel Stearns. He's trying to get info on her, and the Wrecking Crew were as well. They can't. The Wrecking Crew situation can't just be a throwaway. Can't have just been like we want some guys to try and mug her and show how strong she is, because we wouldn't have got the mention of the blood. There's got to be something bigger. But we're 5 episodes in now and we don't know.
Do you think... And I'm just going to throw in a totally random thing out there.
Let's get a completely random one.
Do you reckon it could be Abomination?
Yeah, I hope
with him
not.
Right, so there was a bit of a thing about Abomination's ending that we got the other day, and we've not really discussed it.
Okay.
So he was talking about getting off from prison.
Yeah.
and the fact that he could go and live with his 7 soul sisters.
Soulmate, yeah.
And you know, that was what was going to support him.
Yeah.
The last thing that we saw with him is he gets on a bus and he fucks them all off. Like,
did we see that?
Yeah.
When?
In one of the earlier episodes.
I don't remember that.
So he's on the bus with them looking out the window at them, and he's taken off. So he's lied.
Yeah.
So that's making people go,
well, he's in the mid-season trailer, though, isn't he?
Is there not something more to this? Yeah. So they're like, is there not something more to this?
Yeah.
So maybe he is not necessarily
the big bad.
Well, no, not necessarily a big bad.
Yeah.
Is he throwing other people out there to test her?
Maybe.
Because he's talked so much about being zen and understanding both sides of him and stuff like that. And at the point that he met her, she was really hating the fact that she was She-Hulk.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And pushing away from it. So is he trying to get her to find that balance because he sees it as a gift?
Don't know.
Whereas she sees it as a...
I don't know. You've got me questioning it now, though.
See what I mean?
Yeah, but you've also got me thinking about you've also got me thinking more about the mid-season trailer, because I think there's one shot of him in the mid-season trailer, and it looks like he's in like a shirt at a party. Do you know what I mean? And there's people like cheering him on, but he's in abomination form, and he's supposed to have a power inhibitor that's going to stop him turning into abomination. And I hadn't even thought of that. So yeah, there must be a lot more to that.
Yeah.
Don't know. I kind of don't like the fact that I haven't got a clue.
Yeah,
but I like it at the same time because I'm trying to work it out. I feel like we're not being drip fed enough, and I also feel like there's only 4 episodes left, which is probably only about 16 minutes worth of content.
And do you know
at
what?
This point,
every series we've
short.
done so far since WandaVision, we've gone, there's only this many episodes left, and we've not got anything answered. Where are we going? And we say
but I don't even feel like we've had enough
time.
clues at this stage.
Yeah,
to even start, it's Mephisto. It's got to be Mephisto. But yeah, in general, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah.
It was a bit shaky the last couple of episodes, but this
one
is better.
This has brought it together for me a little bit more. I actually, even though it was the shortest episode, I actually really enjoyed it.
And like you said, it's made me appreciate the previous 2 episodes a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's put it across to me that what they're trying to do so far, and probably will do right up until the end, they're trying to build this world. It's a world building exercise at the end of the day, isn't it? And the bits that maybe didn't make sense in previous episodes and maybe didn't feel as good, like you said, are starting to make more sense. I do feel that they could have massively benefited from dropping this to 6 episodes, though, and just giving us longer episodes. Or even just 9 longer episodes, to be fair. But there's a lot of content in it that doesn't matter still. So I think they would have struggled to flesh it out, like the light elf from Asgard who could transform. They didn't need it. Do you get what I mean? It was just a stupid side story. But yeah, in general, I am still enjoying it. Should we do Podfans Assemble?
Yeah.
Podfans Assemble.
So on the poll this week, we asked the usual question of what you thought about the episode, and to drop us a comment. 32% said they loved it. 68% said it was okay.
So quick math said
that
there's no hate.
0% hated it.
But that's a lot of okay.
That is a lot of okay.
I'll be dead honest. After originally watching it, I'd be in the okay bracket.
Yeah.
And now having discussed it, I'm in the it was great.
Yeah.
Or whatever the top option is. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Great episode. Missing Edna Mode.
Missing Edna Mode. It would have been perfect if we got Edna Mode.
Cosmo Barvagut said, fantastic episode, but too short. The last 2 episodes have me hungering for more. Well, is that not them doing their job, though, then?
Yeah, but it was too short.
Then.
It was too short, though.
It was. They've all done well establishing the world of She-Hulk, and I can see a satisfying storyline building up. Same.
Me too.
Jojo said, pretty mediocre for the first 24 minutes, but the rest of the episode, 10 out of 10.
I can't tell if it's a joke.
It is a joke.
Oh, okay.
Because it's only 24 minutes long.
Okay,
No.
It was only 24 minutes?
It means that they only enjoyed the picture.
Yeah, sound fair play. It was the best bit, to be fair. It was good, though.
The Daredevil helmet was the best bit.
The Daredevil helmet was the best bit. Do you know what? This sounds really, cheesy. the whole exploration of Jen's character, now that we've talked about it, I genuinely think was the best bit.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I did as well.
And as
really,
I say,
really
it's made me appreciate the older stuff more as well.
exactly.
So,
Cracking episode.
Ragnarok265 said, funny as always, and that ending tease was perfect. But a big problem I have with the show right now is that Jen isn't actually a competent lawyer.
She's not, to be fair.
I expected her to be clumsy as Hulk, but an absolute badass in court. Turns out she's a fish out of water in both sides of her.
But is that not a good thing?
Well,
Is that
I
not
don't
the
know whether
point?
that. I don't know whether the whole idea is that she's off her game because of all this that's happened. It's the whole idea of when you start dealing with a certain amount of stress, you're not performing your job at 100%. So this would have her kind of knocked for 6.
Yeah, but I do think that the purpose of this story is to show her becoming super competent at both.
Yeah,
Because when you think about it, at the very start of the series, I got the impression that she was quite new to it.
yeah,
So maybe this is her finding her feet in both elements of her life.
well maybe, and maybe she does end up going to work for Matt Murdock. I wouldn't say Charlie Cox then.
Yeah, but either would be good.
Yeah. But that would make sense that he'd put her under his wing and train her some more.
Yeah, or find her a job with a different law firm, but somebody who's good rather than this GLK&H.
Yeah. Donny G said, Luke working on Daredevil's costume. Thank you, Tensley.
I don't know what Tansley means, but I was very impressed that Luke was working.
Is Tensley the name of a writer or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
Perhaps. Listeners, let us know. But yeah, the fact that he was working on the Daredevil costume, not the best bit, but a really good bit.
Yeah. Sleepy Dad said, the birth of the Avengers.
Yes.
This show does one line as well. The two setting up the suit fitting was very funny, but the court case was flat. Would have been great if they had allowed that to go further and have Madison on QVC selling makeup or something to build the rivalry more.
I get it, but I think it was trying not to be funny.
Yeah.
I think we've been so spoiled with how funny the Donny Blaze court scene was.
Yeah.
And the whole Madison bit of it as well. But this was trying to do something different.
Yeah, and I mean, they still had elements of it.
Yeah, they did have funny elements in there.
Yeah.
Like her going down a chair really slowly and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Can you imagine if the Thunderbolts all have Avengers?
Yes. Yeah, that would be good. What are we going to call ourselves? The Avengers? It's taken.
The Revengers.
It's been trademarked by Titania.
Roger Dodger 562 said, so much style in this episode. Didn't see the mask coming in at the end. I didn't see it at all either.
Yeah.
Didn't know our fellow lawyer
Fucker came
had
out of
such style.
nowhere.
Fucker came out of nowhere.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, and by the way, cheer up, Jen. Some guys would love to have a date with Jenny Walters and not be afraid of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, fair point. Kenneth said, so really enjoyed this week's She-Hulk. The legal stuff was okay. I did like everything with the B-plot and the customer that has implications for the MCU, and could also explain perhaps where Kamala's mum got Kamala's suit from. Oh, didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I like that.
That's quite cool.
I like that. That's good.
Be good if that's where it came from. I'd be impressed. No post credits, but with the last shot of the episode, I was actually okay with that. 8 out of 10. Yeah. Same. Peacemaker, this was such a dull episode, and I don't think this show is for me. I will say that because Jamila signed on for episode 6, that means maybe DD next week.
Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I was like Doomsday.
No, it's a completely different thing.
Oh, I'm an idiot. But also, what is going on with Hulk? It's been nearly a month and nothing.
Yeah, last episode.
Yeah, I think it's going to be last episode. My favourite name again. Bargain Bin Harley Quinn.
Amazing.
It cheers me up every time I see it. I'm wondering if we'll find out why Matt Murdock is in Los Angeles. I don't know why I hadn't considered that previously. No, me either.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah, because Devil's Kitchen in New York, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, no, neither did I.
That's an excellent point. That's weird.
Well, so...
And all the Hawkeye stuff's New York.
So, you know that the new series of Daredevil is called... Daredevil... Born Again.
Yeah.
So there is a comic series about Born Again.
Whoa, hang on, stop. How do you know this? Research. Someone told you, didn't they?
No. I actually did look this. Well,
Okay.
I didn't look it up, but a story came up and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Now, they tried to vaguely, loosely do the Born Again kind of storyline in the last series of Daredevil before it was cancelled.
Okay.
And they think that because it kind of flatlined,
Yeah.
it obviously stopped it. So people are thinking that the reason this one's called Born Again is because Marvel's going to try and do a better job of retelling that storyline.
Yeah, okay.
And it's him pretty much falling apart and not knowing who he is and all of that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
trying to get back to the top again after basically Fisk pretty much fucking destroys him
Okay.
in Born Again. They have a massive fight and he's beaten to within an inch of his life and basically has to crawl away.
Right, okay.
So it's about Fisk getting really big. Now, obviously with the blip and all of that kind of stuff, Fisk's rebuilding and all of that.
Yeah.
So this version of Born Again could fit in well to the MCU.
Okay.
As if he's gone to Los Angeles, because he faked his death, didn't he, in the Daredevil series as well?
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, spoilers.
Spoilers, it's alright.
And I know that that's not canon,
Yeah.
but it would be a good little explanation as to why he would have disappeared from Hell's Kitchen, because he's been spending time in Los Angeles.
He's still in Daredevil in Los Angeles, isn't he?
Yeah,
Still
I know
Daredevil.
that. I
But
know
people
that.
might think he's a different Daredevil.
But
Matt Murdock's still
he
alive?
previously never got established as
Oh, okay.
Daredevil.
No, I suppose.
He was the devil of Hell's Kitchen, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that never changed, or not that I remember in the
Don't know,
series
didn't
when I
finish
watched it. So I'd be quite intrigued to see.
Yeah,
how
I'm
they-
intrigued to see where it's
Basically,
going.
Fisk bombs his apartment.
Really?
Like he goes for him. He finds out through the Vine his identity.
Right, okay.
Somebody finds out and passes it on to somebody and passes it on to somebody, and it ends up finding its way back to Fisk. Fisk bombs out his house, makes him homeless.
Is this in the comic or the series?
In the comics.
Okay.
He ends up jobless. Like, he loses literally everything, and he's literally like at a total tipping point in Born Again. And so it sounds like it could be brilliant.
It does.
And it sounds like if they're going to go down the gritty route, that could be really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's going to be really weird going something that dark and gritty, which I did already think it'd go, not that story, but really dark and gritty. But then how comic it's going to be in She-Hulk.
Well,
we're going to see a very comedy toned Matt Murdock and Daredevil in this, and then he's going to go on to something really, really dark and gritty.
Well, this is the thing, like, because we know that Daredevil's already established.
Yeah.
We're not doing an origin story for him
No.
or anything like that. So we know that there's history between him and Fisk.
Yes.
We haven't seen any of it, but we know that it's there.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, if he is outed in some way in this,
Yeah.
it could be the start of the story for Born Again.
Okay.
So it could be the fact that whatever's outed here, Fisk will find out in New York. He'll think he's safe because it's Los Angeles on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
And
he
then that
follows him.
leads to...
That's going to lead into Echo and then into Death.
Fisk becomes really obsessive within this
Okay.
one. And I think that it'd be a really good route for Vincent to go down, because it's not something that he's necessarily
wait to see
explored
these
as
two.
such. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite excited about that.
As am I.
I'm quite proud how much I
I'm
remembered
dead
from that
impressed
as well.
with that, to be fair, yeah.
You're welcome.
Could all be crap, but yeah.
It could all be crap.
Could all be wrong. Made up
Guys,
on the
don't
spot.
tell Nick if it's shit. If I have cocked it up, don't tell Nick. Movies for Real said, I think this episode was a mixed bag for me. Some of the comedy really hit, and love how they connected the previous episode with the court case. It was such a nice touch, but felt drawn out at parts like Titania is just annoying. Haha. I mean, she's
like her.
annoying.
She's
but
annoying, but I enjoy it.
in a good way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
The tease at the end had me smiling, so excited for next week.
We've got to get full on Daredevil next week.
Yeah,
You'd think.
you'd think.
Surely.
Or maybe we won't, and we'll just get Matt Murdock.
Man, I could see it either way.
I could see it either way.
I could see us not getting Matt Murdock.
Could you?
Yeah, I could see that just being the little taster to say he's
But then
coming.
fancy having a whole lawyers series and not having Matt Murdock.
Only having him in like the last 2 episodes or something.
Yeah, like I don't know. Well, funnily enough, I thought that Daredevil was going to be the one to represent her. Well, Matt Murdock was going to be the one to represent her.
Yeah, I did
for
as well.
this.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised
But
when
I'm
it
glad
went
he
to...
didn't, because I liked Mallory.
Yeah.
She was good.
Blueberry Eyes said, to be honest, the episode lacked life for most of the runtime. Badly written at some points, especially the courtroom scene, not as good as previous ones. But I did like the tease at the end. I want to see what they do with the next guest character. Hopefully the next episode picks up.
I get it. I think having
it
now...
wasn't an action episode.
It wasn't. Having now discussed it, as we've said, I've got a much greater appreciation for it, but I think it was a very different tone to the rest of the series. And it's quite easy to get thrown off as a result of that.
Yeah. Ross Kiernan said, the episode was really good. The whole Titania V-Gen court case, I feel, could be setting up events later on in the show. The ending with the teaser Daredevil was great. Next week could be the episode he is in. But overall, I felt this episode to be long in parts and kind of drawn out.
Which is weird. But isn't it weird how a few people said it was drawn out and it was boring and it was the shortest episode? I didn't feel like it went really quick like the last short episode.
I didn't feel like it went really quick.
It felt normal.
Yeah.
It really did. At one point, I thought this must be nearly finished now, but this is a weird place to finish, and we were only 10 minutes in. Because it felt like it had been going on for quite a while. So,
well, he added at the end, nevertheless, it was good, just not as great as the earlier episodes of the show.
Okay, fair play. No, I think in some ways it was better, but I think if you want the action,
I was going to say it depends what you're looking for, what you get into.
I do agree though; it's a massive departure from the sort of the tone that we've had so far.
Yeah, Lorraine Horton said, "Them both dancing with the Avengers props was cute.
It was amazing.
It was really
the
funny.
best bit. That was the best bit.
Yeah." Sheldon Pink, definitely not my favourite episode, but enjoyed it all the same. Felt even shorter than normal, especially with no mid-credit scene. I'm feeling it was the calm before the storm of the next episode everyone has been waiting for, and then he's put a gif of Daredevil.
What a mixed bag there.
I know.
Felt shorter than the others, and then we've had other people saying it felt really drawn out and long and boring. It's so weird, isn't it? No one's wrong. It's just it's just how you see it.
Yeah, it's perception, isn't it? And then last one, Rachel Miller. Enjoyed it, lots of fun, which is what I want. Loved the merchandise. Definitely Avengers. Need that t-shirt. Wouldn't it be funny though if
I'm getting it.
If later they had another Avengers con and someone's trying to sell the cheap merch outside.
Avengers
if he's
stuff.
just there again with Avengers stuff outside on the cheap.
Yeah.
Courtroom scene was fun, but also hard for Jen. We saw Todd again, so he's deaf up to something, and loved the Daredevil reveal. Perhaps it lacked a little pace, but a solid episode.
Yeah, I agree. Talking about the merchandise, I liked it when Chad rolled up and was like, "Can you sign all the She-Hulk perfume?" That was good. It's like, I'm supporting your, what was it? You're supporting your business endeavor or something like that. It's not mine. Thank you everybody for getting involved. Before we do the wrap up, let's do patron shout outs. Thanks to Geekinate, Kenneth, Night Spearhead, Richard, Jessica, Avid Gamer, and Sheldon Pink for supporting the show. Patrons get exclusive access to our bonus podcast, Into the Podverse, new episodes every month. This month, next week, we're recording it on Monday, I think. We are doing Fant Four Stick, aka Fantastic Four, or whatever you want to call it. That crap Fantastic Four film with Miles Teller. We're doing that one. It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rough episode, but if you want to listen to us dissect probably one of the worst comic book movies ever, then you can head over to the Patreon. You can either head over to thatsuperherothing.com/Patreon, or you can hit the link in the episode description. There's a little bit at the bottom that says support us. For that, again, it's for £4 a month. You get access to the bonus podcast. You will also get merch discounts and get full access to the Discord server. As we said, it will be open to everybody in October, but you get access to the whole server and you can listen to the episode being recorded live. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Don't forget to come back next week for our review of She-Hulk episode 6 and Andor episode 1 and 2 and 3. That's next week, isn't it? That's next week. It's going to be a lot. Busy episode next week. So again, I'm really looking forward to Andor though.
I am looking forward to Andor.
People have said, from people who've seen it so far, that it's like an HBO Max drama. So it's going to be good. It's going to be deep and dark and gritty, this. So I'm really looking forward to that. If you don't already, make sure to check out our socials at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest updates on the show and calls to action for next week's Podfans Assemble. And like we said, if you enjoyed the show, please make sure to subscribe on your favourite podcast platform and leave us a rating or review on Apple or Spotify. It helps us out massively. The more subscribers and the more 5-star reviews we get, the higher we go up the charts and the more people can find the show. Other than that, then, I really need to go and watch Fantastic Four because I've still not watched it. I've been putting this off for weeks.
I'll be watching it on Sunday.
I'm going to watch it on Sunday, yeah. I might have a few beers.
Yeah.
And gins. And a bottle of vodka. On that note, it's time to go. We'll see you next week.
See you next week,
later.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.